Hi everyone, it is our fourth day together on Take 5, and today we are looking at the chapter 20 of the book of Acts. Again, there's lots in this chapter, and we're not able to look at it all, but essentially we're following Paul, remember, on his missionary journeys. He spends about 3 months in Greece teaching the people, and then he starts knowing it's time to move on. And he ends up in Macedonia. Now, one of the things I've noticed just by reading this chapter is that there are other characters around Paul. There's Timothy and some other colleagues, basically, who seem to be in the background a little bit, but also fully engaged with what Paul's doing. He leaves some to be teachers of an area, to carry on the process of teaching a new congregation while he moves on into a new area. They're travelling companions, but they're also fellow workers for Christ. And I think we can learn from that church is a team experience. It's not just one person at the top doing it all. It is a team effort with lots of us teaching and helping and providing fellowship and companionship, a care, a word of healing, anything that's needed. We're in it together. And Paul demonstrates that in his missionary journeys, that he has a team of people working with him. Now, we know that some preachers have a reputation, Dom, of preaching a long time. Well, Paul obviously is one of those preachers, and he goes on and on and on until midnight, and at the end he's worn out his audience so much that a young man who has been listening falls asleep. Sadly, that young man is sat on an upstairs window ledge and falls out, and for all appearances dies. But Paul provides some prayer and healing, and says no, life is still in him, which indicates, I suppose, that he rose him from the dead. Now that's in itself a wonderful miracle to happen, but perhaps it's a warning that preachers shouldn't preach quite so long. Just saying it. Now, Paul at this time senses that the Holy Spirit wants him to travel back to Jerusalem, to give a report, to give an account to the leaders of the early church. And he sets his face to Jerusalem, but he receives warnings that he's going to end up in chains, he's going to be bound. He's going to be someone who is arrested if he does this. Now, it doesn't seem like the Holy Spirit wants to warn him off, just wants to warn him of what he faces. And Paul is prepared. He says, my life is nothing. I don't mind if I lose my life for the sake of the gospel. I suppose that poses a question for us. What are we willing to sacrifice for the gospel? How much of ourselves are we willing to give up? We worry if it upsets people, whether we become unpopular. Well, Paul was willing to lose his life. Let's dwell on that today and realise that perhaps we need to commit ourselves a little bit more than we do to share the good news of Jesus to those people around us. God bless, and I'll see you tomorrow.